Hi, this is Sam, and we're with Atomic Avenue, which is a quilt that I designed. So, my small group and the person recording this video and my friend Kristen here are part of that small group. Every couple of years, we make a quilt that is not raffled for money, it's raffled for underpants. And those underpants go to our local women's shelter. And we make an effort to make sure that the quilt that we make is the kind of thing that you'd want to win. We don't want it to be easy enough that you could look at it and say, oh, pshaw, I could go make one of those. We aim pretty high. And while we were doing our discussion, the quilt that was made by South Bay called Mid Mad Mod came about and was discussed, and we even reached out to that guild and they said, sure thing, we're happy to share our patterns with you. But then it went through my hands and it went through my brain, and then I started looking at pictures of Palm Springs houses and started drawing houses from there. And so pretty much like the only thing that's left from South Bay's original design concepts are this guy, the little keyhole shape, which I turned into a tree, and the boomerang, which I turned into a tree. So we ended up making these great houses, and my small group is known for fussy cutting. Their fussy cutting prowess is something. And we let everybody loose on that, and this is the quilt that happened. So I'm going to point out a few things. I'm going to let Kristen first point out her blocks, because she did the one that everybody keeps saying is like, where do I get that fabric?
And I think that's the beauty of our fussy cutting prowess, is that we all have a really quirky collection of fabrics in our stash.
Absolutely.
This came from when I was doing my Army Wife series 15 years ago or something. I got this fabric that had 50s ladies doing all kinds of housework, and I thought, well, of course in the 50s house I need to grab one of my 50s ladies.
Yeah.
So she's vacuuming the living room.
Absolutely. And Erin, who's recording, has a new dog, Apollo, and Apollo is in one of the dog houses right here. My stash isn't as pictorial in terms of conversation prints and fabric. I'm more this one. This guy is me, and this fabric is me, and these atomic starbursts are me. I think I might have done the fish too.
I really like the library in this one.
That was Megan. Megan, who is our librarian.
And then, did anybody notice the
Puffin
is driving the car?
Puffin is driving the car. And the car is modeled after a Nash Metropolitan, the tiny, tiny car. And Corey, one of our members, her dad has two of them.
Oh my goodness.
So Corey's car follows the color palette of one of her dad's cars.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
How fun.
And our friend Marcy loves to tell stories with her fussy cutting. And Marcy made this house, which has goat fabric in it. And she said this house is Simone Biles's house because she is the goat. Greatest of all time. So the other question that keeps getting asked is, are you going to make a pattern, Sam? And yes, it is underway. The small group got to use the first pancake. They got the shaggy version of the pattern, and we're going to make it a little less shaggy before we let it out of the house.
And if that's the benchmark, it wasn't that shaggy, so it's going to be a good pattern.
Yeah, but you know what? I also think that it's not just a matter of how polished the writing is on that. If I can diverge into this, we all identified places where we could have simplified the construction to either emphasize an element of the house or change the construction to make it more makeable, which I think is, super, super important.
Yeah,
and all of this is foundation. Yeah. I mean, it echoes the other little wings of things, but every time we made that house, I think we all thought it was a little awkward, although that house in Palm Springs looks that way. So, and we all have our favorite bits and pieces. Personally, I want to go make more cars because I'm a car geek.
And I love the trees. I had a lot of fun. I made 4 trees
on
here.
This one was so great.
So
with these lovely little.
And I think this fabric actually is from the 50s.
Yeah, it's got a little corduroy vibe to it.
Like a bark cloth, I think.
Yeah.
It's the closest to a bark cloth.
Yeah. All of the dog houses, we only have 2 dogs. We have a couple of cats. There's a sheep.
Oh,
There's a
a
sheep in
sheepy right
one.
there.
I have an owl in a tree.
There's a bunny in this tree. Oh, a bunny and a bear and a panda.
Yeah, a bunny and a bear and a panda. And of course, the squirrel in this one.
That's gotta be Brittany's.
It was Brittany. And then an owl dude in this one. That was also Brittany. We got a little piggy in this particular one here. And we have a couple of houses where some of our members either didn't have the stash or they were a little underconfident about how to flip a fussy cut into the windows. And so they left the windows bare. And we decided those houses were for sale because they hadn't been decorated yet. How many underpants? We raised 2,300 and something underpants for Raphael House of Portland, which is about what they use in 2 years. So our project pretty much takes care of their undies for a 2-year window every time that we do it. And we're thrilled to partner with them, but they're really happy to partner with us too.